Welcome to Fuel. Fuel stands for finance, unity, empowerment, legacy. Join us today as Dennis, Dr. Jackie, and Mac have part one of their discussion on pennies to dollars.
But it made me think about something, Dr. Jackie and Mac. How do we get from pennies to dollars? I know he's like, what? But when I was out there, I was playing in bands. We weren't getting paid a lot. Actually, my first paycheck was a case of beer. And when I was growing up, beer was $2.89 for a case. So we literally, all five of us, got paid $2.89. So when I bring up the topic of pennies to dollars, what I mean is what I did was I took my 85 cents and bought drumsticks. Well, put it to drumsticks with $4.25 a pair then. So I bought drumsticks. My bandmates drank the beer. And I'm sitting there like, are y'all crazy? But they were excited. I was not happy, but I learned slowly how to turn those pennies, that 55 cents, into $5 for drumsticks, into another gig where I was getting paid more, into another gig, because I took my money and I improved my equipment. And then I got better gigs, and I started taking them pennies and marching them along until I got to the point where I started learning about investing or whatever, going for another business, going to college. It wasn't like I knew I was going to college. It was, I wanted more from my pennies. I was getting paid as a musician. I thought I was the hottest thing since sliced bread. I'm getting paid union scale. And I was like, what, 13, 14, 15, 16, getting into bars. Don't tell nobody that my mama had to come with me. But but I was playing with big boys, I'm not gonna mention any names because people always say who they played with, but it don't mean anything. To me, it meant a whole lot. I was young, playing with older guys, and they enjoyed it. Then I'll get another gig with older guys and older. So like I was getting younger and younger, but they were getting older and older.
hey, just to cut in real quick, because I definitely understand that point. And just for our audience, like when you're in that music world, any day you could be playing with someone that might have a name. And, so to the average musician, it's not that big a deal because jamming is jamming.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Sorry, I had to get that in. Go ahead.
But you're right, because I played at this bar one time, and this guy came over to me and told me how good of a drummer I was. And I'm like, well, thank you. What are you gonna say? I'm 16. I say thank you. And turns out he was somebody big, and they invited me to go on tour with them, but I was young up here, and nobody told me what could come next, so I didn't go.
Okay,
16.
Yeah. Okay, so Dennis, I promise this is the last time because
no, it's okay.
You're hitting on something that, and look, for our audience, we're going to get to the money part of this, but
this is money.
It is money, yeah. But so Dennis, now I had an experience where I was part of a recital, and I was given a piece of music. I won't mention the name, but a known person. Okay, and yours truly decided that he was going to change that dude's arrangement, not realizing that that dude was the one who was judging.
Oh.
You get me? So he knows his music, right? So, of course, I failed, but...
Oh, that was hot.
But I didn't know it. I didn't know it was him. And
Doesn't matter. Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, if they give you the sheet music, you probably should follow it as closely as you can.
Exactly.
When you're a musician,
to do that.
When you're a musician,
but
you are
even to your
always
point,
auditioning.
That's true.
yeah, but even to your point, that's what's really happening out here in our world today. It's like we have the financial sheet music in front of us, yet we're still trying to riff and do our own thing.
Yeah, so pennies. So I have a friend that won't walk across past a penny on the ground. And I'm like, why'd you go back and get that penny? Pennies turn into dollars. I said, wow, that's right. Because my father had jars. He had a penny jar, a nickel jar, a dime jar, a 50-cent jar, and a dollar jar, the silver dollars. And when he told me, hey, go count out some quarters, I need $500. I looked at that jar. It was a 5-gallon, 5-gallon jars. I looked at that jar and said, man, it can't be no more than $100 in this jar. I pulled all the quarters out, every last one. But when I got to $500, it looked like every single quarter had to go back. And let me tell you, it's a pain in the neck putting that many quarters in a jar. But the point is that our mindset about pennies has to change. When I worked, my coworkers would throw the pennies away. And at the end of the day, I would go around our workplace and pick every single penny up because my friend said, don't let a penny go past you without picking. Don't superstition, just put it in the jar. Don't even look at it. It's a penny. Man, I was ending up taking home $1.50, $2, $3 a day, putting them in the jar. And when it came time to go on vacation, guess whose pennies I spent? Now, they called them brownies. So I think they were trying to be funny.
There you go.
Well, no, they were actually trying to be funny. But anyway, I learned a couple of valuable lessons about turning pennies into dollars. And those are two of them right there.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Jackie, I'm going to let you chime in because, me and Dennis will just dominate it. We don't, stop for air.
Well, I thank you.
I can't breathe.
And good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you all in such a great mood. Sunshine is shining. So I'm one of those who stops and picks up pennies, and then when I get home, I have a penny in my back pocket, penny in my front pocket, penny someplace. But excuse me, it goes to the fact that first off, you don't discard those things thinking it's not valuable because all things build up. And it goes back to the thing that we talk about saving, and that it doesn't have to be a whole big amount. I'm not picking it up unless it's a quarter. Oh, really? Well, you keep picking up your pennies, you'll get a quarter. So it's the concept that at whatever amount you can build it up, turn it, as Dennis said, pennies to dollars. That seems to be our theme. And so far, he's mentioned mindset, and I'm going to bring in another word that Dennis said it, because he said he didn't have the vision. And so, both of you kind of touched on it, vision that things can build, you can build, there is a plan that you can create and follow through with. So just a quick tying up of what you all said.
Hey, do you guys remember penny candy?
Yes.
If we found a penny on the ground, we were rich.
Bitch.
Yes.
We're like, candy. if my granddaughter finds a penny in the ground, she feels rich. But if my daughter finds a penny in the ground, she's like, nah, because there is no more penny candy. So I'm gonna switch it a little bit, but it's the same thing. What would you rather have? A penny doubling every day for 31 days, or $100,000 in your pocket right now? Now, I know you guys already know the answer to that.
I know, so it's not even fair. It's not even fair. It's too bad we can't put like a quiz up here and have our audience chime in immediately.
I know that would be nice.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
follows our theme though, right?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I was trying to sit here because in one of the previous broadcasts that we had, I talked about that dollar a day concept of putting that dollar a day, which would be 100 pennies. Um, and so I put that concept into actual action um, by going back. I have a little special account that I just really just use for pennies. um, and I decided that I was going to dedicate that to the process. So now we are in the month of July. So in doing the calculation, I want to make sure I get my math right. So by the month of July, I had actually accumulated $212 and a little bit of interest. Now, this account doesn't have much interest in it, but the whole process is that going back to, I know our forefathers and even people today might use that jar, but I just simply just think about a dollar. Come on, a dollar, $30 to $31 a month, and already in July I'm at $212.
Wow.
Just sucking away that dollar a day.
So let's think about phases of a penny to a dollar. So first you have the accumulation stage, and that's what Mac was talking about. First, he accumulated money by being disciplined to put that money in away every day. Then when he went back and did his accounting of his money, because you got to account it, he did his accounting, he saw that he had accumulated a certain amount, $200+. So after that, we got to figure out how do we make that money get better interest, which he also talked about. Because initially he said, well, it's not getting that much interest. That to me, that means he knows somewhere else to put his money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just wanted to give that just as an example, because there are some that are testing the investment waters, and I just want people to understand that even without the interest at all, you have still in 7 months accumulated $212. Now, we three know that there are avenues where that $212 will go that will definitely get more bang for the buck. But it all starts, if we're in this process, the key word you said, Dennis, discipline. It's got to be a discipline, no matter what method you use. You have to have the discipline. There are different methods of acting. There are different methods of music, since we started this thing talking about music. But it's about sticking to the program. In math, which has to be my favorite subject because I've made a living using math for most of my career, everything is about formulas. If you know the formula, then you will always get the right answer and you'll always get what you want. It's about the formula. Okay. Go ahead, Dr. Jack. I see it.
Okay, you just mentioned discipline and consistency. So I remember talking to somebody about the concept of saving the penny or saving the dollar a day, right? And so they said, it'd just be easier for me to put in $30 that month. And I said, okay, but then you're missing the point. And And they said, well, I mean, it's the same thing. And then I don't have to do all that drudge to put the dollar in the bank or whatever. I said, but you're missing the point. Because here's what's going to happen. July will come and the 30th of July will get here and you'll say, I don't have $30. Maybe I'll put in 3 or 4 and just I'll start over again in August. That's not the point. The point is having the discipline of every day doing that same thing. And that consistency will build so that you almost go around and scrounge for your pennies to make the dollar on a day when you're a little low. But if you wait, I'm going to wait and save. I'm going to wait and read that sheet music and learn that sheet. I'm going to wait and practice. Then something else will bump it off the scale of something to do. So we go back, we've got the vision, we're going to accumulate. And so we're going to do it by penny, dollar, nickel, whatever. Do they have nickels anymore? It's almost hard to find nickels. But anyway, whatever the currency, that issue is, that you do it with discipline, you do it every day.
Consistently.
Okay? Consistently. All right. Because it makes a difference. It really does. All right.
So you brought up rules. So for me, the first thing I do is at 9:30, I spend 15 minutes going over my accounts every day. And that's my first rule, 15 minutes a day. No matter what, I get up and I do my accounting. And then I started a challenge, 100-day challenge. I get up, do 100 push-ups every day. I just started that though. And then I play my piano for 30 minutes every day. I play my drums for 30 minutes every day. And then I focus on the rule of 72 every day. That's 2 hours out of a 24-hour period. 2 hours maximum to do all those things. That's the discipline that has allowed me to turn pennies into dollars and then learn how to turn dollars into hundreds and then learn how to turn hundreds into thousands and then learn how to turn thousands into a whole lot of my friends taking me out to dinner. So the whole thing is all about habits because discipline allows you to build good habits. But money can follow either a straight line or a logarithmic line. And that's what the whole thing about a penny a day doubling every day will do. It will start off slow, but near the end of the month, it will go and that will ultimately end up to, I think it's like $11 million, if you double it every day because it's logarithmic. So the beginning is easy to quit. Because, a penny after 2 days, if it's 3 cents, you're like, it's only 3 cents, only. Only a rich man uses the word only. But it's 3 cents you don't have to work for. But once you get the habit, like I talk to people all day long, Mac, I say, hey, I work 15 minutes a day. And they go, 15 minutes? I said, that's because I do it every day. I don't skip to the weekend and then I got to spend 2 hours. I do a little bit every day. I spend time in my garden every day. I spend time talking to my friends every day. And then it builds up, and then your partner, we very rarely talking about how our partners have a lot to do with the accumulation stage, the interest, the logarithmic, the discipline, the habits. You got to have a partner that can see past spending money every weekend. And I've been blessed to have a partner that looks at discipline, that looks at how money can grow and what you can do later. I mean, before COVID, we were in Israel and I forgot what country before, Vietnam and Spain and all these different places, not because I waited until the last minute or we waited until the last minute, it's because we looked at the habit that it takes to get these things. So this is my last thing. I tell my daughter all the time, you pick a number, your brain will work its way to that number.
Wow. Yeah. So both of you all are hitting on some incredible points. um, that going back to that discipline and consistency, that is the secret weapon to anything in life. If you, I mean, we're talking finance, but anything, you talked about Dennis, your drumming and piano playing, um, you know, it will make you better because the consistency and the time that you have dedicated to doing that, it's going to reap benefits. What is usually the problem is that people aren't patient enough to realize the delayed gratification. And that's the mentality that we all have to escape, because we all have it. We want to just see it just miraculously happen immediately. And to your point, when you're talking about that compounding of that penny, each day, it's like a seed that's in the ground. When that seed is in the ground, it has to adhere to whatever the nutrients are in the ground before it can even begin to sprout up. And it can take a long period of time in order to grow. But once it has grown, then it's almost impossible to stop. And we have to be willing to get on that ride, knowing that it's going to be, like when you get on a roller coaster and they just inch you up slowly, getting ready to go to the highest part. Okay. And then all of a sudden you just like miraculously with super speed. And that's the way it works, in that it takes time to build up. But once it does, my goodness, then you'll look in amazement and say, wow, that penny did that, and that's the point, just consistently. When I get up in the morning after I spend some time with the Lord and my wife, the first thing I'm doing, it takes me a little bit more than 15 minutes right now, Dennis. I haven't learned how to cut that time down, but I get in front of my computer and I go through every financial thing in my portfolio, because not only am I looking for growth or looking for ways to maybe improve that growth, I'm also looking for human error that has happened many times, and I've caught it. The average person, even if they are fiscally sound, they'll wait for a bank statement before they start reconciling their account. No, I reconcile every day, because
just like your mother.
yes. Because I have found errors and I've called the bank out on it and have reaped the benefit of it. Also, I have caught people that have latched onto accounts, because of cyber theft, and been able to nip it before I was broke. So all of this is important. So it's not even just about the accumulation of wealth. It's just for the protection of your portfolio.
Mm-hmm. I used to be a once a year accounting guy. And then I started finding out somebody had gotten to my account and they took out $500, $600, $700. And I couldn't tell because I only had one account and I had all my money in that one account. And $500 didn't really make it look bad. It's like, okay, I'm down to this number, but it wasn't that big a deal. But when things started getting tight and I had to do the accounting, and that thing popped up that I lost $500 from somebody in California that said I bought some crap at some mall. Luckily, I was able to call and say, hey, and I got the money back. Because I was not there. Oh, it was online. I don't buy things online. This is a while ago, long time ago. And I said, I don't buy things online. I don't even have, whatever this devices they used. It couldn't have been me. Then one time somebody in Germany or something got into one of my accounts. But after that, I became a monthly account watcher. and somebody got into my account and I didn't know until the end of the month. That's why I do 15 minutes a day. It only takes 15 minutes to open up my account, look at it. And if I see something I don't like, I mark it immediately. Like you, Mac. I learned a lot of things from your mother. And, when you have a lot of money, you can be kind of foolish sometimes. So you got to be really careful. But they say, if you don't know how to handle that penny, you're not going to know how to handle the thousands.
Thank you for joining Mac, Dr. Jackie, and Dennis for part 1 of their conversation on pennies to dollars. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fueling Generations, or reach out to us directly at fuelingfuturegenerations2020@gmail.com. We'll see you next time.